We are here for the 4th edition of the Africa Roundtable, and it's great that the Roundtable is back on African soil. This time we've come to East Africa. This is a platform for dialogue. We are talking about bringing together stakeholders in business, in politics, and in civil society from Europe and Africa. And the idea is dialogue. The Africa Roundtable is a dialogue.
We are at a turning point because Africa got into the focus of Europe recently after the war against Ukraine. But we need to change the mindset of that perspective.
Of course, you cannot compare it with the low-hanging fruits in some major East Asian markets, but it's not true that nothing is happening. I'm really confident that this is a starting point, that we finally make use of this momentum, and not only for our purposes in Europe, but for the benefit of Africa as well. So we strive for a partnership on eye level.
I believe that the competition with China is good for that. Competition is good for business, and I believe very strongly that Europe has the better business model and will surely be the more attractive path to follow, despite all the legitimate grievances, all the legitimate critique, and all the bad history that comes with Europe.
Obviously, Europe is coming into Africa for their own benefits, and Africans need to also come to the table knowing what are their strategic priorities, what is important for the continent, how do we make sure that we're having the best deal for Africans and for our economies. We're not necessarily tied to Europe for deals or partnership because we do have other options. So the need is not really as like, we need Europe to make things happen. Africans will do it for themselves, but we need to work in a global environment. We realize that we're tied together, right? We saw that when the pandemic hit, it hit everyone. So we need to make sure that we're working together in this really global open border kind of framework where we're in. But it's not really a need, it's more of a want, and how do we make sure that we continue to collaborate.
What is happening with the multiple crises that the continent has, it only just substantially increase the financing needs that are required. And we need to really see more investments in Africa that is in the higher value chain, not just in raw material.
We need to get the youth involved in some of these conversations that we're having. Ask Africans what we need. Listen to us. Technology is so open that the youth are learning very fast using technology. So we need to know how to apply the older generation that has the wisdom, the younger ones who are very quick, and how do we integrate all of us together to then be able to move forward quickly. And quickly is from conversations, for me, to implementation of what we have said.
I started my career in the 90s in East Asia, and I tell you, it was similar, and we did it. So no reason why we cannot do it here. And we should finally start, and then the sky is the limit. We should have started this whole venture during the years when globalization was still well functioning, and we start the whole process now under stress. This is a challenge, of course, but on the other hand, you get this sense of urgency due to problems in other markets.
Most important takeaways are that we have everything on the table. We only have to get it together right. When you have built a relationship, you are able to change things. And this is the most important impact we think we can build up and where we can work on as a platform. That's our mission.
There are 17 countries who abstained in the important votes in the UN General Assembly. We need to listen to these countries. Why did they abstain? What could we have done differently? Why don't they sign up to our definition of the rules-based order? And I've got the feeling that one part of Zeitenwende that really is real is this new readiness within Germany and within Europe to listen and to adapt without losing sight of the values that we want to defend.
The last decade we were perhaps a little bit complacent. We were talking about the continent of chances and choices. And now after this historical inflection point, we have seen the Zeitenwende. It's time to be here. It's a must to be here. It's no longer a choice.